Good evening, all of you. We'll start the semiconductor physics, that one. So today we'll discuss about the theoretical ideas like a band theory, intrinsic p-type, n-type, and p-n junction theory. This one. Tomorrow will be discussed forward bias, reverse bias, and numericals. So you'd have plenty of topics this week. Like we have diodes, rectifier, then special type of diodes, transistor, logic gates, then transistor as an amplifier. Hmm. Even I think Saturday also I need a class. So we'll extend this discussion to Saturday and if possible on Sunday also. Because again, in the revision we'll get only very less time. So better to learn now only. Okay, fine. So this is, we'll start with this one. So it's about the numericals will be very easy. The theoretical ideas are a little bit more, you can say, in depth. So the best book is what you can just read S.C. Verma, because I don't think so in Cengage any content is there on this one. And you can go for integrated material. These are the two books which will be sufficient. Don't read NCERT book. It's a lot of deviations are there which will not benefit you for exam also, mains exam. It's not there for advance. This one. So you can prefer the S.C. Verma and integrated book, and the problems you just do by icon, and that'll be sufficient. No need of higher level. So there's everything. Theoretical discussions are based on quantum mechanics, and we don't learn quantum mechanics. So this shows that it's all about the small basic information around that things will revolve. Hmm. Don't type in Google semiconductors. You have to start with where crystal lattice structure, conductors. From there you have to come. Then you have to enter into quantum mechanics. Through quantum mechanics, what is the application of quantum mechanics is what you can say this semiconductor. To be simplified way. Sir, what is use of quantum mechanics? Anywhere we started using it, yes. That's for the semiconductor. And the semiconductor is what now laptop, mobile, or all this digital communication. So what is the use of quantum mechanics? The present digital communication is what application of quantum mechanics. So don't pick up any textbook like a semiconductor physics. So many books are there. So they will drag you to directly the quantum mechanics because all the equations what we have. So definitely you can see I don't write any equation because every equation is derived from quantum mechanics. So we'll begin like this. Okay, first the classification of solids here. Okay, basically solids we can classify into three things: insulators, based on band theory we are classifying them. Okay, this is for insulator. This is for conductors. This is for semiconductors. So almost I think some crystal lattice structure what you studied in chemistry, no? Just a broad view of that is what we are going to place it here. Okay, this is called as conduction band. This will be conduction band. Conduction band. So the energy gap, this is around 1 electron approximately. The energy gap, this is around 7 electron volt. So this is also called as forbidden. Forbidden means not permitted. If you look at the for conductors, it will be overlap. So what are these bands? Next question comes like, what are these bands here? Okay, let's. What are the semiconductors? A good example of semiconductors are silicon, whose atomic number is 14. Next we have germanium, whose atomic number is 34. Let me take the silicon example so that I can draw a few number of electrons. So if you look at the atomic structure of the silicon, it will have right silicon. So how many that if I go for distribution, then 8 electrons. Then outermost orbit will be 4, it will be there. This is not, yeah. So these are the any questions they may ask you. So let me just show this also. Okay, this is for silicon atomic number 14. So if you look at the 1s, so shall we put like this? 2s square, 2p6, 3s square, 3p square. These are the shells. So now what happened? I think we have reached more advanced atomic structure, not Bose atomic model. We know now modern atomic structure. From the modern atomic structure, from that what happened? From Pauli's exclusion principle, all everything based on that. These are the levels. What happened? Orbits like a 1s is one orbit, 2s 2p is one L shell, and 2s 2p. This will become subshell. Then 3s 3p. So this will become subshell. So like that, what happened? Will divide in each subshell. What happened? We'll place electrons, like 2 electrons in the shell 1s, 2s again there, 2 electrons. K, I think this will be K shell, L shell. This will be M shell. In M shell again, it will be two electrons. That M shell is what we'll write it here. So since let's begin the way when we learned few ideas, no? The subshells is what we show it. No, this is for like a one silicon atom, we show diagrammatic representation. This one. Then for this is what I drew is this is for total substance, not for one atom. For one atom, you don't get that one. Means for one atom, for one silicon atom, the structure will be no, this will be 1s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d. So here how many states are there? 2n states. Here 2n states. Here 6n states. So 2n states and how many? So shall I put like this here? State. These are the states. Means possible locations. No, the electron. Okay, it will be filled up, occupied by this. There are 2n states are there. There are 6 states are there. Here 2 states are there. They're filled up here. Here 6 states are available, but only 2 are filled up. This is what happens in the silicon atom. Is it okay? 6n states. What do you mean by 6n? 6 states available. In that what happens? The 2 are filled up. This remaining 4 are unfilled here. If you go for the crystal lattice structure, no, this is for one silicon atom. Like this, if the silicon atoms, if they come together, and so it's a covalent bond will be formed with the adjacent silicon atom, like this molecule will be formed for the total substance. When I plot this for total substance, the band structure will take shape like this here. Yeah, we have box here, no? You can draw a few more like this. Okay, no, come for this one. So when for total silicon substance, so these are the instead of lines, why I'm showing the boxes. This is the first question what you can ask it here. Now, when the two atoms, if they come together, then how do they form? The energy of one will slightly increase, the energy of the other will decrease here. Like that, the energy of this one what happened? I think in one, so to make you understand, it's not there in book, but actually practically there's a logical way what I can show it for. If there are only two silicon atoms, but we never see in practice only two silicon atoms. Usually it will be crystal lattice structure. This is last third diagram is what only just to make students to think. I brought it. So this is the two silicon atoms. Let's assume that one. Two silicon atoms only for understanding purpose. So what will happen to the states? So this is the of silicon atom 1, 2. Like that. So what happened? The energy of one will decrease, energy of line. What is this dotted line? The dotted line is this one. They actually for one silicon atom, the energy of one will increase, whereas the other will decrease here. So how many states are there here? Again, you can fill up like this. This will be see. So this is 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, the 3p. The third diagram, it's not there in book. We are not supposed to show also, only to make you to think. Let's assume that only two atoms, if they come together, then the energy of one atom will increase, the energy of other atom will decrease, and this will be the average energy of one atom. It is there, no? What will the average energy? That will be energy, that one. So what is this K shell? This is like a K shell, no? Go back to hydrogen atom. We used to draw one line. It is for one hydrogen atom. For a sample or for two hydrogen atom, the energy of one atom will slightly will increase, that will decrease. On and every, the energy of one hydrogen atom will be somewhere here. Will be average of that one. So like this for two atoms, we can show it. Now I am just bothered about this 3p level. 3p level. In 3p level, if the two atoms, if they come together, how many total states available? 12 states available. In that, what will happen? The two states of the one atom, atom 2 will be filled up. The two states of the atom 2 will be filled up. But practically what will happen? Here, the situation will be in either way. So what is that? When the two atoms, if they come together, no, so the two atoms which are here, no, the two filled states open, they will occupy here, and the remaining, the two unoccupied will be sent here. They will not be like this, and there'll be redistribution of states as well as the levels will occur. So let's not go to that quantum level or that band structure of in detail, that one. So if I just draw for two atoms, the two atoms what happen? I should not show that one. So what will happen to this A1? The two filled states what happen? They will occupy here, and the unfilled state will come. This is the rough way of analyzing thing. So here, so let's come for this one. So how many states are available here? This is called as 1s, 2s. This will be fully filled. Next, this will be 2p. This will be 3p. So what will happen to this 3p? The 3p only will split up. The 3p only, this together only is 3p. This will become 3d. The 3p only will split up. So here what happen? We'll get a fully filled up. This is. And this is made up of unfilled states. So when two atoms come, so this will not be like this. So what actually will come? So will take place like this here. Okay, this is the basic arrangement. This one. Why that band? Why that band? Why not one level? Like that for three atoms. I think for three atoms of silicon, if they come, so this oneness what you are going to show like this. If the four atoms, If same oneness, this is for 3 atoms. This is for 4. If 5 atoms, 6 atoms, if there are n number of atoms for a total substance, so the oneness of all the different atoms what happen? Of one will be more, next what happen? This will be the average. This is the average. Of one of the atom will be more, one of the atom will be less. Like that, what happen? A band structure will be formed here. All these are called as the valence band. From year to year, this is called as a valence band. All these are called as conduction. Conduction band is not only one. Why that conduction band is having unfilled state, from where to come? So did that thing like. So all that particular 2 states are there, no? So what will happen to this 3p? The 3p will get further subdivided. Will get further subdivided where the 2 states what happen? Each atom. So like each atom will contribute 2 states for this. And because of that, what happen? We'll get here like a fully filled, like a uppermost valence band and an empty conduction band. We say empty in the sense like you can see that one here. So this will just go and occupy that one. So now shall I say this 3p is what? And what I wrote semiconductor. Let's not bother conduction band. I'm bothered. We say forbidden, no? What do you mean by forbidden? Why that word is used? Forbidden gap. This one. It is not permitted. Either electron can exist here or here. It cannot exist here. The forbidden means not permitted. So is it possible to locate any electron either here? It can see if I supply energy, what happen here? Fully filled. Here will have valence electrons here, but it is a fully filled. We don't have any vacant state here. What about here? All the states are vacant. If you supply energy, what happen? The electron can jump from fully filled to unfilled state, or from valence upper valence band to lower conduction band. It cannot be here. So therefore, that forbidden gap is what is this one. So therefore, we say forbidden gap. So the lowermost unfilled, the lowermost conduction band and uppermost valence band, what it is 3p only of the silicon atom for silicon substance. The third diagram, it's not at all a thing only for students to make think I brought it. Otherwise, I should show only for atom and for substance, because we never discuss anything for 2 atoms. And this 2 atom thing what happens should not be correlated to this also. Only for students to make think. When I'm posting it, I'll erase this. When I'm sending as a PDF, no, I'll erase this because nobody, which particular intellectual person has drawn this, people will question me. Only for a understanding purpose. Okay, got this one. So why that bands are formed? The discrete energy levels. So what is a band made up of? So what is a band? Bands made up of, shall I say, discrete energy levels? What is the valence band in the made up of that one? It's like the discrete energy levels of specific energy levels of an atoms. So there is nothing but the valence band here. So this is nothing but the uppermost valence band, fully filled. Lowermost conduction band, we do get plenty here. I'm not showing that. We can just go on add, no, 3D. Next again, you can keep on add conduction bands. So what are conduction bands? Empty conduction bands, because they'll have unfilled state. And what about the valence band? It is a fully filled here. So if you want to further accommodate one more electron, there is no state available. See, it's as good as like how many electrons you can accommodate here? Only 2, no? No, sir, I'll place one more. This structure will not permit. This atom will not permit. Are you getting no? So what about valence band now? So valence band is fully filled. It is not having any further place. It's like as good as like for in classroom, no, first bench. How many? I think we'll sit 4, no, in our, I think, yeah. So what is the number of states? Number of students can sit 4. 4 students are sitting. One more student wants to come and sit. Not permitted. The bench will not permit. The similar situation is what happens here. So what is the valence band? It is having all states are fully filled up. And what about conduction band? All states are empty. So we'll say unfilled states. And valence band, fully filled state. So here valence band means not only one. All these are valence bands. The uppermost valence band and the lowermost conduction band is what we are taking for discussion. Similarly, for conductors, what happen? such a situation here, they'll overlap conduction band, valence band, and similar. And what will happen to the insulators? The gap will be 7 electron volt. For insulators, this particular energy gap will be 7 electron volt. Again, you can see like a, sir, like a, let me take germanium. I think for germanium, we should not discuss at 3p, no? Where do this forbidden gap will come? Will it be at 3p? I think you know enough atomic structure. You have to go further, no? For germanium, it is 34. So start filling up. Here 6, state 6 will be filled up. Like that, you start filling up. There again, you'll get forbidden gap somewhere here. Like that, based on that atomic number, the forbidden gap will come at different levels. Not only it should be here only at 3p. For germanium, it will not be at 3p. Forbidden gap will be somewhere. So what is a band? What is a band? It's a discrete energy levels of different atoms of a substance. One specific level, what happen, will form a valence band here. So this is a lowermost valence band, this is a uppermost valence band, and this is a lowermost conduction band. This is a fully filled up, this is a completely empty. And this what, like this, we classify the metals or solids based on, or we classify the solids based on this band structure. So I'm more interested in this. Already we have studied in current electricity and this is of no use. We are going to study this like a semiconductors here. What are the semiconductors? We have germanium and silicon. These are the primary thing. So we'll look at the structure here. So what is the silicon? Actually, if you see the atomic structure, if you look at the silicon substance, there's a diagram more popularly will be using almost at many places. No, you can. So that it is like this. Huh? Now come for this. So this is silicon atom. It's a tetravalent atom. Outermost 4 valence electrons. It will share its outermost 4 valence electrons with the adjacent silicon atom and it will form a covalent bond. Now what is the dot here? Black dot, valence electron. I think we'll continue with the same symbol. And how much of energy you should supply to break up this covalent bond? 1.1 electron volt or around 1 electron volt. For silicon 1.1, if it's germanium, it is 0.7 electron volt. Now why there is 1.1? The 1.1 will come, this one, when I go and measure practically, it is coming around 1.1 electron volt. For germanium, it will come somewhere here. And it is 0.7 electron volt. Getting the idea? So there's a way of describing this band structure. So this is silicon, like a structure what we show it. It is a tetravalent atom. So outermost valence electrons will have 4, outermost orbit will have 4 valence electrons. It will share with adjacent atom and it will form a covalent bond. This dot E, the dot represents valence electron. Okay, let's get into now the silicon, this atom. Now let's me just vary the temperature of this. I'll vary the temperature. So if I vary the temperature, then the valence electrons which are present here, if they gain sufficient energy, what happen? Due to thermal agitation. So what do you mean by thermal agitation? If I increase temperature, the atom starts vibrating above their main position. Due to that vibration, the outermost valence electrons, if they gain sufficient energy, then what happen? They will jump to the conduction band. So how much of energy needed? 1 electron volt. So what all you rise the temperature, the thermal agitation should occur. Due to that thermal agitation, the outermost valence electrons, they should get sufficient energy to jump to conduction band. So therefore now as you vary the temperature, so what will happen? So some of the electrons from the valence band will jump to the conduction band. No, so this is a thing. So practically what will happen if you look at the silicon, this one. So practically what will happen? So some of the valence electrons will jump to the conduction band. So here what will happen? We'll get a vacancy. That vacancy I'll show by blue color, and the electron, it has become free from the atom and it will become free electron. So therefore, how do the so there's a conduction band here, some free electrons will be there practically at room temperature. Now I should not show many. Okay, we'll show few, and there'll be holes. Now the first time I'm introducing to the idea here. So what is a dot? Dot is valence electron. What about star? This is like a free electron, not center of mass. Free electron. And this bubble in the books open, they just show circle. So there's a hole. So first, like there's a conduction band. Oh. And we never show valence electrons in conduction band. That's the one practice because we are not bothered. We are not bothered about these electrons. This is energy gap, say like around 1.1 electron. So silicon substance at room temperature. Basically, they should not empty conduction band should be there. No, why do these electrons are come? Due to thermal agitation, what will happen to atoms? These silicon atoms, they'll vibrate. So when they vibrate above their mean position, so outermost valence electron, they gain sufficient kinetic energy, they'll get sufficient kinetic energy, and they jump to the conduction band. If they possess more energy than what is needed in that particular state, so they'll jump to the highest state. So like that, and now this particular thing is not binded to this atom. It is free to move inside the material. This is called like a free electron. The vacancy created by valence electron in valence band will become hole. So what is a hole? How we define? Vacancy created by valence electron in valence band is called as a hole. So what is the charge of it? It will be positive. But so like a electron now there, then free electron means all here electron is there. After some time it will move. No, here hole will not come. So you see like there's a void. So in books, some books they call like a void. Void means like the vacancy created by valence electron in valence band is called as a hole. But sir, you never discuss something in current electricity chapter. S in current electricity chapter. So what actually happened is for a conductors. So we know that at room temperature, the electrons will jump from valence band to conduction band. Why not holes? You see that it has overlap, no? For conductors, what happens? The valence band and conduction band will overlap. So what all that holes that are formed immediately will be filled up by the next the same other electron. Suppose the electron jump from here, hole is created. This electron, when it is moving, you come and fill up. So like that, the probability of finding out hole in conductors is 0. So we have to discuss everything a probability, not like, sir, I saw, so just now I saw. No. What is the probability? 0. What is the probability of this one? If any electron jumps here, so sir, again, why can't this electron can come? No. The electron will be wounding in this conduction band only. Means, so what actually happens is, practically what happens, this electron will be wounding here. Sir, any probability of catching it? Yes. If it by chance, if this hole captures this electron, so finally what happens? Somewhere what happens? The energy should be conserved. No? So this electron will get sufficient energy and it will jump out. So like that what happens? The number of holes and number of free electrons in silicon atom will remain fixed here. And as you vary temperature, this number will change. Number of holes, number of that one. Later on, I'll give the formulas. Okay, got the idea now? So vacancy created by valence electron. This is a very difficult concept for you because you started from positive, negative charge. I said this is a positive charge. What is a hole? Hole is a positive charge. It will also propagate. It will have mobility. It will possess positive charge. It will possess mobility. What do you mean by mobility? This electron, so inside what will happen? Electrons can, if electron is here, no, this electron can propagate here. And the hole will start moving towards right here. Later on, I'll give some examples. So this what happens practically here. So therefore now, as I decrease temperature, then as I decrease temperature, the same semiconductor will behave like an insulator. Means at absolute zero, the same semiconductor will become like an insulator. Insulator in sense, what is insulator? Not like an energy gap I increase, no. Empty conduction band. That's called like insulator. So if I decrease temperature, what happen? We'll get almost empty conduction band. So it's like an insulator. So at absolute zero, the same semiconductor will behave like a, what, like an insulator. Then at higher temperatures, it will behave like a conductor. At room temperature, it will behave like a semiconductor. And this is what the material which we are using in a mobile, laptop, everywhere. What all today you say digital revolution, no, it is due to this semiconductor. So at room temperature, how do it will behave? It will behave like a insulator. At room temperature, just like semiconductor, you can put it. As you increase temperature, what will happen? Where is the band structure? As you increase temperature, more and more valence electrons will get sufficient energy and they'll jump to the conduction band. More electrons, free electrons available. Then it become like similar to conductor. As you decrease temperature, what will happen? So we don't get any holes, fully filled up valence band. At absolute zero, fully filled valence band and empty conduction band. This is nothing but to insulator, no? This will not change. Therefore, at absolute zero, the same semiconductor semiconductor, I'll write in short, semiconductor behaves as an insulator. Then at higher temperatures, behaves as a conductor. At room temperature, it will be, the material will behave like a, as its own semiconductor. So what we're discussing is at room temperature. Okay, fine. You can see some few free electrons, few holes. So this is the intrinsic semiconductor, what we call. So it's a pure semiconductor. So what all I discussed is, this is for, let me call, this is, so what do you mean by intrinsic semiconductor in its purest form? So what is intrinsic semiconductor? Semiconductor in purest form. What is the band energy band diagram for intrinsic semiconductor? You have to show few holes and few free electrons. But sir, I'm doing this experiment at absolute zero. So usually what is the like a reference temperature we take to do all our research? 24 or 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. So at room temperature means it is 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. At 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, what is the feature of the material, that has to be taken as standard. So at room temperature, so how the intrinsic semiconductor means, you have to show like this. At absolute zero, you have to show empty conduction band. So this diagram what happen, silicon substance at room temperature, or it is for intrinsic semiconductor. So what do you mean by intrinsic semiconductor in its purest form? It will be amorphous or crystalline. The semiconductor is in a crystalline form. Amorphous, all of you know, powder, talcum powder, that's called as amorphous. Crystalline form. Crystalline, I think if you take the sugar granule, again you put in that microscope and make it know, you can see that crystalline form. That one means where the crystal lattice structure will have some sort of a ordered way, that one. So that is called like a crystalline form. So semiconductor usually will be there in the crystalline form. A good example, silicon, shall I say sand. If you purify that sand, nothing but you'll get silicon. Sand, you just go to the river bed, you just go to the any river bed or say like a seashore, something there, no? So you can get sand, that one. That is nothing but the silicon, not in purest form. So as I purify it, then it will become a silicon intrinsic semiconductor. So it is in a crystalline form. Yes, very much. Sand, you just take it, no? It's a crystalline. Okay, this is about the theoretical band theory. Now we'll define few things here. Intrinsic carrier concentration. So this is the number of electrons per unit volume in the conduction band or the number of holes per unit volume in valence band is called as intrinsic carrier concentration. So what to do? Again, this is done at room temperature. See, you make it yourself fixed here. We are going to study everything at room temperature. The semiconductor metal is designed keeping room temperature in the mind. So here, what is intrinsic carrier concentration? How to calculate? Number of electrons. See, who will be there? Valence electron in conduction band, not possible, no? Where you can see valence electrons? In valence band. And any electron that exists in conduction band should be free electron. So this that's why I shown clear thing that black dots I should not show here. Actually, in fact, the valence electrons, it's of no use for me. That's why we don't show valence electrons in anywhere here. What I'll be showing, either the free electron in the conduction band or the holes in the valence band. So number of free electrons in the conduction band per unit volume will be the intrinsic carrier concentration, or the number of holes in the valence band per unit volume will be the intrinsic carrier. So how many holes are there? Those many free electrons should be there. Any reason? Because the valence electron which jumps from conduction band to the conduction, when it jumps from valence band to conduction band, will become free electron, no? Getting the idea? A valence electron, when it jumps from valence band to conduction band, will become free electron. Able to make it out, that condition? So therefore, if at all any electron, if I say in conduction band, it's a free electron. And any electron in valence band is valence electron. I'm not bothered to show that dots. It's of no use for me. What is used? These holes are useful. So therefore, that holes, and the vacancy created by valence electron in valence band is a hole. That I'm displaying it here. This is you can see that one everywhere. We are not bothered about these dots, black dots, because it is of no use for me. Anything useful, this hole or this particular thing. Now next again, One more thing we'll define called like a Fermi level. It is not nowhere, no description in the books what happened, but he has asked this in the JE mains. Fermi level. Just only definition I can explain, because again you have to enter into quantum mechanics in depth. I think I'll give definition that with that definition at least you can manage this one. So I need exactly around 14 hours to explain this, not 1 2, because the Fermi level is everything. To be frank, the Fermi level is what that everything. So did they free electrons? How many are there? 6. Okay, then 6 holes. There's a conduction band. Shall I write CB in short, valence band? And this is called like a Fermi level. For what this is for intrinsic semiconductor. Where does the Fermi level will be like this? So what is what do you mean by Fermi level? Is defined as work done to add average work done. Average work done to add an electron to the system. So now you can ask question like, sir, like a these are the holes are there. These are the electrons. So average work done to add an electron. We have electrons here and there's electron is here. So the average energy what happened? Don't take again many that one. How much of average work done to add an electron that one? So the energy, this energy, and this energy. I'll take average of that. Where do it lie? It will lie somewhere in the Fermi level. But sir, like you should do one thing. There are so many valence bands below. I'm not bothered that one because they're of no use. Because if I supply energy, means work done to add an electron to a system. How much of work I should do to add an electron to the system? That particular is called like a Fermi level. So for that, what happen? I look at this electron. The electrons are here. And what about here? Valence electrons. So what is the average energy of these two? Will lie somewhere here. So that's called like a Fermi level. I think this only definition. I cannot go beyond this because it's totally like related to the other level of physics. But in exam, just he will ask you for intrinsic semiconductor where Fermi level lies. Exactly in between the forbidden gap. What is this? This everything is called like a forbidden gap. This everything is called like a forbidden. For Fermi level, for pure semiconductor, where do it lies? It lies in the middle of the forbidden gap. Means these are the very dangerous ways of asking things. You can't blame anybody. If you are unable to solve these questions, you should blame your teacher. That's all, finish over. He didn't teach properly. Because you can't blame any book, because NCERT book, no way discussion, NCERT Verma, SC Verma. SC Verma or NCERT book, or you take integrated book. So, but they can ask you something very random of these things. So therefore, maximum I'll try to, irrespective of NCERT book, SC Verma, I'll just dump some additional things which they may ask. This is what happens in extra syllabus. You can't just only take NCERT book as standard. You just read NCERT book no and check the mains paper. Almost you can say that every year till now around some 35 questions you can say they are out of syllabus since they were not described in NCERT book till date from 2000 almost from 3 you can start counting to till date. Around 35 questions are there where you can say that sir, they should be deleted. No description in NCERT book, but still they will ask you. So to the level of us, like in the form of definition or in that way that one. So just trust your teacher. is not teaching anything extra can be asked for you. So just don't read NCERT book. Will not be sufficient. That much I can say. Especially physics is of no use. NCERT book. Extra syllabus. If you haven't, you can have a glance, but you cannot take that as a reference. You can do numericals, but the content you can't take is a reference, and you can't say only this much. They'll ask. Okay, now let's get into this one. There's a pure semiconductor. Let's see that. I will connect this pure semiconductor to a cell. This pure semiconductor. Let it be connected to a external source like a battery. Then how the behavior of this pure semiconductor. So let's get expression for this. So there's a cell of potential difference V. So let L be the length of this conductor. Let A be the area of cross section. Now, what is intrinsic semiconductor? It contains free electrons in conduction band and holes in the valence band. So now, first we'll talk about the free electrons. So what free electrons will happen? The free electrons here will start moving like this. Okay, agree this. And then from negative terminal, the battery should generate electrons, and these electrons will flow like this here. Now, what about holes? So what about holes? Yes, holes also will propagate. How the direction of the propagation of hole? The hole will be like this. Now you look at the inside the conductor. Who is responsible? So now you can ask questions. Sir, all will come here. No, conductor will not permit. No, because the conduction band and valence band will overlap and no probability of finding the hole. So where that hole will have a displacement, will have a net displacement in the inside the semiconductor. Sir, how do hole can move? How do the hole can move? Suppose say this particular free electron is there. So this particular valence electron. So you look at it in terms of valence electron. Here valence electron is there. So what this positive terminal will do, along with this free electron, it will also pull this valence electron. Say there's a main idea. So why you are showing current due to both? If it were in conductor, no question of holes. Will agree only free electrons, and that particular free electrons they'll move in conductor. But here what happened? Along with this free electron, this positive terminal of cell, what it will do? It will pull out valence electrons from here. So when this valence electron, the moment it comes out, so it will become free electron. I agree this. So you have to show it things here in this way. The valence electron, the moment it comes out of the material, when it is there in this conducting wire, copper wire, and this is silicon or germanium, anything it is, pure semiconductor will come like this. Okay, now finally what happened? The number of electrons at any instant, if I switch off cell, how many, the net charge of this should be 0. So the electron which is lost, what will happen? These electrons again will come here. So it's better to show this one. Is it okay now? This electron, the moment it jumps, will become valence. So how do that all will move? Now that was my primary question. No? So actually here this particular electron which comes here, no. So here all will be there. So I'll again this is for your understanding purpose. So this let's assume that this electron is what like is similar to like free electron. This electron corresponds for all. The moment this electron, the all is here, no. So what that all will do? So this free electron when all captures free electron, what do we get? Next, there's a one more important thing I'm introducing. All plus free electron. So this should become equal to a valence electron. There's an important equation. All free electron, and this is a valence electron. So when a hole captures a free electron, it will become a valence electron. Means when free electron captured by hole, it will become a valence electron. So I'll put it here. When a free electron captured by a hole, it will become. See, such a sensitive information in books, they'll try to avoid. Why they try to avoid? They should not show the diagram which I'm drawing. This is against our conventions. We have some certain conventions, what scientific conventions we follow it. So books, they didn't show it. Since without showing anything, explaining will be difficult. So that's why they left to teacher. It's a duty of teacher to show diagrams like this and explain. See, I think I studied electronic and communication. This is my mother's subject, to be frank. So I studied in BTech from third semester, all these things. Prior to that, what happened? We were made to learn first quantum mechanics, because without quantum mechanics we can't understand. But nowadays, I think if you look at even in IITs, they stopped teaching like this. I studied from Bangalore University, where what happened in the first sem, what happened, the professors what happened who are going to come for third semester, no, they advised us, you read the total physics, till quantum physics, quantum mechanics. And in third semester, when I start, okay, that one, the whole 1 year we started reading physics. Then now what happened? That culture stopped even in IITs. It was actually started in IITs, NITs, that one. In most of the universities, we used to earlier they used to follow, but even in IITs now they stopped it. They directly they don't they start with this and they explain. That's why the quality of research is coming down, because the basic see what is learn of without learning quantum mechanics, you are learning semiconductors of no use. Now what you are learning is just information, not learning. So like this, what happened? Even IITs also, they're coming with not core ideas. So anybody gets a branch, electronic and communication, telecommunication, electrical engineering. This one, even you will get is like a instrumentation engineering, because everything related to this electronics only. The diode is the base for that. I think semiconductor physics is the base. So without quantum mechanics, not possible. So you must learn quantum mechanics, irrespective whether your professor will teach or not. No professor will teach, but they'll ask you to read. So 1 year is a sufficient time. No, daily you read 1 hour. That is enough. Daily you read one hour. Whenever you get a time, read it. Think it. No. So that time will be sufficient. So you have a lot of challenging things. No? Outside world is not suitable to acquire knowledge in systematic way. Even IITs also. Definitely, I can say that one. Huh? So you should acquire knowledge on your own. Unless you don't become independent in acquiring knowledge, you cannot grow. This is my sincere advice. Since I belong to this particular branch of science and technology, so what are the necessity needed? I'll tell you that one. What I'm telling is a story. Please don't call it a knowledge. Without writing mathematical equations, no way things can be understood here. Okay, let's talk about the whole. Okay, now there's a additional electron. No? So I think there are. I'm just categorizing it for your understanding. This free electron will be captured by hole. The moment this hole captures, it will become what happen? Valence electron. So shall I put it now? Shall I take it out these two? So in place of that, what you should put? Dot. Oh, dot. This dot. Now this hole will not keep quiet. What it will do? It will pull out this valence electron. So now the valence electron will come here, and the hole will be here. Next again, what will do? This hole will pull up this. Means this valence electron will jump. Indirectly, what happen? The hole is what? Moving towards right. So after some time, you can see like this. I should show blue color, no? After some time, so you can see this dot here. How all is moving. All is moving towards right, no? You can see this. And this will come here and the all will be formed here. Look at now the how the all is getting displaced. It is getting displaced towards right, no? It is getting displaced towards right. So shall we able to understand? I think I'll take it out all this for your understanding purpose. I'll just show this much only. And this valence electron will be pulled by this one. So like this, this is the moment of all direction, flow of all, or like a moment of all, you write it. And this is a free electron. Let's not bother free electron. We are very clear about this. Free electron. So what all the current that is there only due to free electron, I should not say like that. Here, what happen? Better say all as well as free electron. Why not say, sir, why can't you say valence electron? Is only the, come back here. Valence electron means the one which will take a position of all is what responsible for that all current, no? These electrons will not participate, no? So therefore, it will be wrong to say that valence electrons also are responsible for flow of current. No, better say all and the free electron. Got this? Because the other valence electron, they're not participating in the conduction of current. So therefore, the all is participating, the all is getting displaced towards right, free electrons towards left here. Now, what is the net current? Net current, in terms of net current, how you say this one? The all current should be towards right. So what all that current here? IH and even IE also. What is IE? Due to free electron. So how come that one? According to our convention, what is the conventional current? Opposite to the direction of flow of electron. All is a positive charge moving towards right. Okay, fine. Electron moving towards left. Conventional current will be towards right. So what is the total current through the semiconductor? It is I. So what is that? I is equal to IH plus IE. So I agree this. So let's get into the calculation part. Now, what is this? There'll be who will move this electron hole? How come they move, sir, on their own? There should be electric field, no? And from where that electric field will come? Due to the battery. So anything, can we write this? E should be equal to V by L. And V is applied potential difference. Anything, shall we write? Now, overall, the current density formula. Overall current density formula. So what all that current is flowing due to what? So let's go back to the current density. Eta Q V D. We write like this. And what is the current density? I by A. So what is I is equal to eta Q V D by A. And what is V? VD is called as disk speed. What all this current is due to what? Due to both electron as well as the hole. Both are responsible for the flow of current. So therefore, the total current I should be equal to IE plus IH. What is IE? Concentration of electrons. Charge of electron. Charge of electron is what? E only. This speed of electron into area of cross section. Then concentration of holes. Charge of holes should be charge of electron only. This speed of hole into E. Okay, this is the expression. So this I by A, what you can write it as? I by A I think a few symbols have come. So I'll erase this thing. So let me define the few symbols. First, VDH. I think I can write it here. What is VDH? The speed of holes. What is VD? The speed of free electrons. So it is understood because free electrons only, that is. Next again, mobility will define mu h. Mobility of electrons here. Okay, this is the expression what we have. So then what is this IA? IA you can write it as J, current density formula. And if you go back to the current density chapter, we used to define like this, no? All the terms. And there's another formula, E by rho. Shall I introduce? So go back to current density. This I by A, what we can write it as J. So what is further J? You can write it as E by sigma E. What is E? E is what the electric field set up inside the intrinsic semiconductor, and that is equal to concentration. It is not in concentration. Okay, this is H. Now let's come for disk speed. The disk speed depends on what? The mobility of charge. It depends upon the disk speed and the electric field. So in general, mobility, what we can write it as Vd by E. No need, I think, because E will eliminate from here only. So this is the sigma is equal to E, concentration of electrons. What is Vd? Mobility of electron into applied electric field. E into concentration of holes. VDH will be mobility of hole into E. So therefore, I got an expression. We have defined, no? Okay, now next again. What is this? Is concentration of free electrons. And what is this? Concentration of, or don't say free holes, huh? Just you say holes. And if you look at the mobility of hole will be less than that of mobility of electron. What do you mean by mobility? How quickly it will move. So it is a, I'll take you back to the thing, that one. What is like a all is a vacancy in a bench. Suppose if there is a vacancy in a bench, then what happen? And a student is what? Like an electron. If a student moves from one bench to another bench, he'll become like a valence electron. Instead of if the student is free to move inside anywhere in the room, he'll become free electron. Finish or in entire semiconductors, you keep it like this here. Bench is a what a state. In one bench, what happen? There are 4 states are there. That one. So if a vacancy, if a student jumps from one bench to another bench, nothing but open is a valence electron. And the vacancy created by student in a bench will become a hole. Now the same student, if he moves anywhere, not on the bench, somewhere in the room, then shall I say he'll become free electron? Tell me, like, in which case student can move very easily, more mobility is there when he's wandering freely, not in the benches, anywhere in the room. If he just moves from one bench to another bench, the mobility will decrease. No, he cannot move quickly. The same thing happens here. So the mobility of hole will be less than that of electron. Got the idea? This one. So from this, what will happen? We have this one. So what is sigma? Sigma is called as a conductivity. So what is this? Conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic means what? Pure, pure semiconductor. Okay, now if I go and measure this current, so if I go and measure this current, okay, anybody can make a guess how much of current will be at room temperature. See, we always discuss at room temperature. What can be the current to this one? It will be of order micro or nano ampere, which is of no use, which is of micro nano ampere, 10 to the power of minus 9, 10 to the power of minus 6 ampere. For applications, I need at least milliampere. So for that, what I can do, I'll increase the temperature. If I increase temperature, then more electrons open from valence band will jump to conduction band. I'll get more holes. Number of holes in valence band will increase, and number of electrons in the conduction band will increase. If more number of holes, it's more current. If more number of holes, more current, and more free electrons, more current. So what happens? Current will increase. Will agree this one. So the concentration, this depends on what? Depends on temperature also. Therefore, the conductivity, this will it depends on temperature as it is. So what is the formula for this? The conductivity of the intrinsic semiconductor is given by sigma naught e to power of by 2 kT. What is T? T is a temperature in Kelvin, and Eg is energy gap. Okay, getting this one. So this Eg is a energy gap, that one. So like that, what happen? We'll get the conductivity of the intrinsic semiconductor, and it varies with the temperature. It's not a timer. T is a temperature. T is a no. As you increase temperature, tell me what happened to account to this expression. As you increase temperature, as we increase temperature, so what happened to conductivity? Will decrease, no? Or conductivity will increase? What you can say that one. So as you increase temperature, let's see that as I increase temperature, more electrons will gain sufficient energy, and they'll jump from valence band to conduction band. So more number of free electrons, more number of holes, then more current. So conductivity will increase, no? So then if I go and measure, means by varying temperature, I can vary conductivity, but still what happen? Even if I go for say some like a if I increase by 25, 50, 100 degrees Celsius, then what will happen to this? The substance may itself will get damaged here. So therefore, I cannot take help of temperature to increase conductivity. But the temperature, the conductivity will vary with the temperature. Or reciprocal of conductivity is what you can put it as. Reciprocal of conductivity is what? Resistivity. Sigma 1 by rho. This one. So therefore, so as you increase temperature, the conductivity will increase, or the resistance will decrease here. So therefore, the semiconductors are having negative temperature quotient of resistance. Means as you increase temperature, what will happen to them? The resistance of that will increase, or conductivity increases. So I'll put it in this way as there's a conclusion. As temperature increases, conductivity increases and resistivity decreases here. But I'm not happy with what I'm getting this current. That much I'm very sure. So I want to control this. I want to increase this current. Okay, tell me what I should do. Can I increase charge of electron? Okay, let's bother current density here because this A is there, no? Okay, I want to increase current density or current here. So don't say that I'll increase A. You can't make a very big, like a thick semiconductor where the semiconductor is there. Some almost around say millions of semiconductors are there in your mobile. So can you increase size to 1 centimeter diameter? So then mobile, you should use crane to lift it. So therefore, so don't go for anything changing area. Okay, this one, this is the fixed one. As small, this one. Okay, now charge of electron, can you change? No. What about the disk speed? No, this also is a fixed, no. We can't do much. And electric field, there's some limit is there where I can apply potential difference. So I don't have any options much on this. Mu is a constant and E is what? There's a limitation. So therefore, this is the thing. Can I increase number of electrons and holes? Ah, sir, what is there by increasing temperature? But if I keep on increasing temperature, suppose I want a current where at 1000 degrees Celsius, yes, I'll get a required current. At 1000 degrees Celsius, the silicon material will melt, no? And it will be very hot. So not possible, no? So therefore, so what shall we do here? So how to increase this particular current here? The only option is by some means, if you can increase number of electrons in a semiconductor or number of holes, problem solved. So what is our next adventure? What we are going to do? What we are going to do? We are going to increase that current by either increasing number of electrons in the material or number of holes here. How to increase that number of electrons or holes? That calculate doping. And there what will start at an extrinsic semiconductor. By adding impurity items to a pure semiconductor, we can increase the conductivity of a semiconductor, or we can increase the current, and we can control this current, how much you want. Those many electrons you add up. So now, sir, why can't we do this for uh, metal, copper? There also can increase like electrons. So is it copper will permit for you? Copper atom, how many electrons you should have, that is a fixed, no? Whereas the silicon weapon, we do have option because of this. Conduction band can accommodate what? Free electrons. So therefore, either by increasing number of electrons in the conduction band or by increasing number of holes in the valence band, we can increase the conductivity or we can increase the current. And that too, I can control how much of current I want. That depends upon concentration of electrons and holes. So like this what happen, we do for next adventure, what we are going to do that one. Okay, this is about the some conclusion. I think there's only theoretical ideas what we have put, and these formulas are very important for exam. The conductivity of pure semiconductor varies with temperature according to this given equation and this particular equation. How to increase conductivity? Have option either by increasing number of holes in conduction band or holes in the valence band. So I'll put it now statement. The conductivity of can be increased by increasing concentration of free electrons in conduction band or concentration of holes in valence band. How to increase that is method called doping, that one. By doping, by adding impurity items, what we can increase. So here next. By adding impurity items can be achieved. I'll stop it here. Tomorrow we'll start from this application part. Okay, thank you all of you. Thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.